Sometimes the animals who look the toughest on the outside turn out to be the biggest babies on the inside. That was the case with Eddie. It was a cold, rainy day when he was first seen. The sky was gray, the ground was muddy, and there he was, tied to a short leash, shivering and soaked. He was a big boy, the kind of dog that most people might walk past quickly, maybe even feel a little scared of. But behind his size was a dog that just wanted someone to notice him. At first, Eddie didn't know what to expect. Being tied out like that, alone in the cold, had clearly taken a toll. His eyes looked tired, and his body language showed he wasn't sure if anyone was coming to help. But when someone finally walked up and started speaking softly to him, everything changed. His ears perked up, and it was like a spark of hope lit inside him. The rescuer bent down slowly, talking gently, making sure Eddie knew he was safe. And once Eddie realized this wasn't another person walking past, but someone there for him, his whole attitude softened. The big, tough-looking dog turned into a giant baby. He wagged his tail, leaned forward, and finally let himself be unclipped from the short leash that had held him down. That moment of freedom was small, but it meant everything. Eddie didn't resist. He didn't try to run. Instead, he stuck close, almost as if saying, "Don't leave me. Please take me with you." And that's exactly what they did. Eddie was loaded up and taken to the shelter, safe, warm, and finally out of the rain. At the shelter, Eddie's personality started to shine through. He wasn't mean. He wasn't scary. He wasn't aggressive. He was the exact opposite. Eddie wanted attention from everyone he met. He went from person to person, leaning on them, wagging his tail, begging for pets. It was like he couldn't get enough love. And the truth is, he was a snuggle bug. For a dog who had been left out in the cold, tied up and ignored, it was clear that all he ever wanted was closeness. He pressed his big head against people's legs, curled up whenever he could, and melted under any bit of affection. It didn't take long for someone to notice. The shelter manager, who cared for him every day, started to feel something special for Eddie. She watched the way he followed people, the way he wagged his tail nonstop, and how he soaked up love like he had been starved for it his entire life. Before long, she realized she didn't just want to take care of him at work. She wanted him to come home with her. And that's how Eddie found his family. The shelter manager adopted him, giving him a real home where he would never again have to worry about being tied up, left behind, or forgotten. In his new house, Eddie became the happy, loving dog he had always been inside. He had soft beds, regular meals, and people who truly cared about him. Most of all, he had the security of knowing he would never be abandoned again. Now, instead of shivering in the rain, Eddie spends his days surrounded by warmth and love. He gets cuddles whenever he wants, naps in comfort, and enjoys being part of a real family. For Eddie, the days of being tied to a short leash are long gone. His story is proof that sometimes all it takes is one chance, one person willing to stop and help to completely change a dog's life. Eddie went from being left out in the cold to being someone's everything. If this story touched you, give it a like. Even sharing it can help more animals like Eddie find the love and safety they deserve. And if you've ever had your own rescue story, tell us about it in the comments. We'd love to hear it.